Hello, Terry. How are you?
I'm great, Sherry. It's so good to see you again.
Oh, and it's so good to see you. I probably know you since the 80s.
Yes, yes.
Since the 80s, hanging out in cabaret
Backstage,
rooms.
yes, hanging out at Ted Hook's.
Ted Hook's on
Yes,
stage,
uh-huh.
Ted Hook's backstage.
Backstage, yes.
And I know you went there a lot.
Oh, we'll see every night.
You know, every performer has her ups and downs, and you, Terry, have had your share of ups and downs. Probably the extreme ups and the extreme downs.
I've hit the ceiling and done chin-ups from the gutter. It's basically it.
Now that you can speak from high above,
yes,
because that's a nice place to be where you are.
Oh, yeah.
But has it changed, seeing the ups and downs, has it changed the way you approach life in general?
Actually, yes, because I look forward to every day. Every day when I wake up, I can't wait for the new adventure, what's going to happen, because everything has been a whirlwind in the last year and a half for me. And I'm liking it up here. It looks real good, actually. I'm enjoying it. But looking back, I built up to this point. Slowly, but I built up to this point.
So when you were in those down points, I mean, you were always working. There were always shows, but then there was time between shows.
Right.
Where you weren't on stage. How did you handle that time for yourself?
That's when I started working piano bars. At least I get a chance to entertain. And it also built my repertoire and my following. Being in Follies, there's a lot of people that are coming from 88s and Rose's Turn and Don't Tell Mamas over the years. They've been there at the stage door seeing them. So it's built its way to this point.
So it was almost necessary. I mean, being on top, you really have to kind of work. You have worked yourself to the top.
Yes, it's been a long, long period. It's over 40 years. So I've been building both spiritually and performing-wise, understanding cabaret and understanding Broadway, understanding working a song on a show and working a song from cabaret. Both of them balance out each other.
Do you feel that your experience in cabaret has helped you on stage? I mean, there's a big difference I think there's a big difference between performing on stage and in cabaret rooms. Do you see the difference?
Definitely. I think cabaret helped me, my improvement of my singing a song in a show, because in cabaret, you really have to tell the story. You must capture the audience from the very beginning. You don't have a chance. In Broadway, you have PR, you have people that are all around you, that people come to see a show, not you in particular. So in a cabaret, it's you alone. And you have to bring these people in and have them interested in what you sing. So when they hear, oh, I want to hear this song, I want to hear it's because you struck a chord with them, that they understood the song, that they could relate to the song. And that, in cabaret, I've been moving that more into the Broadway, especially like with the song that I do in Follies is Who's That Woman? It's really telling the story. You've got to build, you can't just say, okay, who's that woman, and go up and down and stay on one level. It's a long, long number. I mean, it's 8 minutes of tapping. So incorporating the tapping with the song, it's almost like doing a cabaret act, and I am. I'm actually, with the song, in a sense, I'm breaking the fourth wall, but I'm actually performing as though I was performing in Follies many years ago. So it's that combination of the cabaret, put that show on, tell the story. That's what Stella does.
Very well done. So cabaret really, because I've seen stage performers do cabaret acts, and it just doesn't work. They still have that fourth wall up.
Here again, I guess because I was very fortunate to work in piano bars and getting over that fright. I remember those days when they asked me to sing, oh, I can't do that. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that. And now you can't get me away from them. It's it's a learning process, being able to strip yourself naked in front of these people because the fourth wall is down. You have to make eye contact. You have to get their heart and just pull strings on it while you're doing one song. You got to capture them that first song, or they're going to be yakety yakety yak. You ever be in a piano bar where you can't even hear yourself sing, and when you can get them to go from yak 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 to hear a pin drop, you've done your job. And that's what I learned, and incorporating and bringing it back to Broadway is being able to take that moment, because I only have like one song in the show, but you got to take them by the kahunas, and you know what I'm saying. You just got to go with it.
Right. So switching subjects now, you've been in a number of shows on Broadway, off Broadway.
Yes.
Which of your roles has been the most challenging, and how were you able to meet that challenge?
I think the most challenging was playing Henry in the club.
Which I saw.
Oh, yeah. 1975. Because it was playing a role of a 16-year-old boy where you had to really get... Tommy Toon worked brilliantly with us. He broke it down as to how you stand, how do you sit, the parallel, the opposite... Everything, just breaking down every movement. So you had to concentrate constantly, making sure you're doing the right move. I had a tap dance. So I had to tap dance like a young boy, not as a woman. So that was a whole another process. But it was so fulfilling once you mastered all of that. So when we got to the point where I'm a woman portraying a man portraying a woman, so making it awkward, trying to move like a woman. So I think that I really was the most challenging role.
Did they ever do a revival of the club? I may have seen that in London, a revival of it.
There was in London did a version of it. I directed several companies around the United States. And then we did it at the old duplex, Rose's Turn, upstairs. In the early 90s, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I directed
Full
it there.
production.
Yeah, right upstairs. Yeah, it was it was quaint, but it was actually, you could really focus more onto what each person was doing.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
40 years in the business. How have you seen the business change in those years from the performer's point of view?
Oh, I have seen, you talk about ups and downs. Broadway truly has had them, where you could look down Broadway and there's one marquee in the 70s. We thought that Broadway was dead. The end of 80, when I was doing Welcome to the Club, not the club.
No, I saw that too.
Yes,
Welcome to the club.
I ran all the way to the bank. Anyway,
12 performances.
There was a time where they were debating whether Tony should have off-Broadway shows also nominated in '89 because there weren't that many shows on Broadway and they weren't all that good, So that was another point in the late '80s that theater was hurting. And then all of a sudden it just bam, bam, people started turning out some great shows, and it's back up again in the mid-'90s. And I mean, look what's going on this year. I mean, it's more about revivals. I mean, there are 8 revivals coming up this year. And the producers are afraid to put money into something new. It's all about the big buck. It's not... Before it was like, okay, everybody, put your money on the table. This is what we're doing. Now it's, do you think we can make enough, for a certain? I don't think so. Okay, fine. Well, let's put that aside. And there are very few originals anymore because it's become corporate. It is
corporate and celebrities.
Yeah,
celebrities from the film.
Yes, big names that really never been on Broadway. But it's because they have a TV show or this whatever
and sometimes that lack of that foundation shows.
Yes, it does. It really does. And it's sad that that's what Broadway has come to.
What about business-wise? I mean, with working with an agent, working with a manager, has that changed in the 40 years?
No. You really have to do your homework. And again, let them know what you want to go up for. There was a great place I used to go to called Barrymore's that was over here on 45th.
Yes.
And every Thursday, I would get the theater index from them, and I'd sit down and bring my pad and go think, okay, this is a good show. This is what I want to do. And so Friday morning, I called my agent up and said, these are the shows I want to go up for.
You did your homework.
You do your homework. You know, you go around to the best people to find out what's going on are the stagehands. I used to swing around to McHale's and talk to the boys over there and think, so what's coming in? You know, they have their schedule.
Very smart.
3 to 5 months ahead of time because they know what they got to book, what show or what theater they're going to be in, if they can do some extra work, so they know what's going on. Barrymore's is gone. So my homework is at nil, but I have management now that people are helping me with outside of my agent.
Right.
They're saying, okay, we heard this. This is heard through the grapevine, so this is what's coming up. That helps.
What are your career goals now?
Oh, there's a lot of shows that I've been thinking about. I've always wanted to do, and possibly there'll be a chance to do them. You know, you just don't know. You never know what tomorrow may bring.
Absolutely.
You know, you never know.
Absolutely. Final word. There's lots of aspiring performers out there, and they look up to you now, Terri. Can you offer them at least one piece of advice that they can really embellish and be a kind of source of inspiration for them?
Don't lose yourself. A lot of times, there's many times you go to audition after audition after audition, you don't get it, and you start beating yourself to death. Don't forget to love yourself, because that's one person that will always be with you through your entire career.
And that's the kind of a proverb we should all learn, whether it be in the business or not.
You really have to. I lost myself for a while, but I'm back. I found myself, and I like myself. No, I don't like myself. I love myself.
And we all love you.
Oh,
Terri.
thank you.
Aside from catching Terri White as Stella Deems in Follies, you can see her in her own solo stance and in her own solo shows. Can you tell me, Terri?
Well, first of all, November 14th, I'll be at the Town Hall doing the Broadway Unplugged, but that's with a group of people. But my own show will be at Feinstein's May 2nd and May 9th, Mother's Day. Bring your mothers down.
A perfect gift for them.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Terri.
Thank you, Sherry. It's great seeing you.